Okay, welcome back to part B. Here is what I want you to do before we start tapping. I want you to pause for a second and think of one opinion that you've been holding really tightly lately. It doesn't have to be political. It can be about anything, a relationship, a decision, something about yourself. Just try to take a beat and notice where you feel it in your body, where that tightness lives, where the I'm right about this lives physically, because that's exactly what we're going to bring into the tapping today. Not to release the opinion, but to release the grip on the opinion, to soften the place where the opinion became a survival mechanism that truly feels like it must be defended at all costs, or we won't survive. So it's time to let go. So pause for a second, get that in mind, and then hit play again. Take a big, deep, letting go breath. You know, the drill, set up nice and tall, and begin tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I've been holding some opinions so tightly, they have started to feel like facts. And I notice that when they get challenged, my body braces like it's a threat to my actual safety. I'm opening to softening just a little around that. Even though I live in a world right now where my opinions have started to feel like a moral report card, where having the right views means I'm a good person, and being questioned means I might be a bad one. I'm willing to look at that pattern honestly because it's exhausting. Even though part of me is afraid that if I loosen my grip on what I know, I'm going to lose something important. I'm open to finding out what actually stays when I'm not clutching so hard. Okay, so we sort of loaded the information into our circuitry there, and we're going to work through all of the points on the body. I have some pretty strong opinions right now. And some of them I've been afraid to say out loud because the stakes feel pretty high lately. Not just we disagree high, but like who you are as a person high. And my nervous system has noticed that. So I feel like I have to scan every room before I speak. I decide beforehand who can handle what I think. That is legitimately tiring. I've learned somewhere that having the right opinion will keep me safe. It'll keep me in the group. And it proves that I'm a good one. And I've been running that ever since. But this week, I'm noticing the opinion isn't actually the problem. It's the grip, it's the need to be right. It's the way that my brain fires up when someone disagrees. It's like my whole command center goes on alert. And what if I could have a view without needing to defend it? What if I could hold my truth and then be genuinely curious about yours? What if the thing I'm most sure about right now is still only part of the picture? I don't have to abandon what I know. I just might not have all of the information. And that's actually okay. My nervous system can handle a wider view. In fact, that's where clarity lives. Is my opinion actually going to add to joy? Or do I just want to be right? There's a very real difference. And I'm starting to be able to feel it. I can see that pattern clearly now. And I can wait for the right moment to offer my thoughts. I don't have to drop my opinion to be a fair witness. I do have to care more about the outcome than about winning. That is farsightedness. That's the gift. And I can do that. So let your hands rest comfortably on your thighs. Take another big, deep breath and notice if anything has shifted. Feels a little less charged in your system. Hopefully you feel a little more space between you and your opinion right now. A little more room to hold it without it holding you. There's probably not going to be some grand transformation, just here in the moment in your nervous system, you get a tiny break. And as you move through this next 6 days, please remember this, that you are not required to share every opinion that you have. You're also not required to swallow everything to keep the peace. 18 is grounding you right now. And it's asking you to use your judgment wisely. It's asking you to sense before you speak whether what you're offering is moving toward joy or just moving toward being right. Sometimes those are not the same thing, and sometimes they are. We're in Aries season, the beginning of a new cycle. You get to decide what you're starting, what you're building, what you're willing to see differently than you did before. You know, birds of prey have extraordinary vision and they don't react to everything that they see. They're very patient. They wait and then they lock in on what matters. And then when it moves with total precision. That's the invitation this week, to see clearly, to move wisely, and let the things that you know be big enough to hold a little mystery. It's annoying, but that question about whether you would rather be right or happy is the question. Would you rather be right? Would you rather have joy? That's the question. You get to answer. I'll see you next week.